All right, here I am. I'm going to be cleaning off and putting them in the clean ones in there and showing you my pieces. This one I love. I think this one I mostly cleaned off already. So you've got the inside of the clamshell with all this lovely honey calcite druzy. Then you've got little pieces over here from small shells. Move that up a little bit. Down here you have the calcite, this shell that's turning into calcite right there. And then what I love too is you can see the parts of the fossil shells. There's another piece of one. Oh, you can see the calcite being revealed. So there's the clam shell, 1 to 2 million years ago in the Pleistocene era. And then you can see, oh, look at that. See the crystals all along in there in the honey calcite. That is super cool. And this again is the ancient fossil bed. They dig these out of mines. And they brought like 70 tons, I think, to this. Some of these I may end up chipping some of this off later, but just like you can see, there's the honey calcite right there. There's the honey calcite right in through there. This one's got a lot of dirt on it. Now look at this one. This one's so cool. There's a nice honey calcite shell right up on top. And then you can see all along here, this is all turning into honey calcite. Sometimes it's hard to tell if this was 2 shells. There's the clam, the bottom of the clam, and you can see all right along there is the honey calcite. Look at that. Super cool. Again, you can, oh, look at, see, like right there. That is pure solid honey calcite. Almost wonder if we chip more of that away. You can see how the inside has totally become this honey calcite. That might be the kind of stuff that if it's thick enough you could cut out. It's calcite's softer than quartz, but people do facet it. But look at all of that, the way it's turned. So look at that. So now there, if you join our North Carolina, South Carolina VIP, Rockhound VIP group, look at there. Look at that honey calcite just turning. You get lists of sites that you can go and dig at for free, you know, at your own risk kind of thing. But they also do digs. They have an amethyst mine they're developing for the past 6 months. It's pretty awesome. I have yet to go there. It's in Georgia. But they also do proxy boxes. Look at that one. Isn't that cool? You can see the crystals popping up in there. And the proxy boxes you pay for, and you get the stuff without doing the work. They had to pay and haul all the stuff out of the mine. There used to be mines you could do, but I think most of them are all closed now. So this is fun that he'll do digs down there and he'll do lots of proxima. Again, this might be, it's hard to tell if it's a conical, the whelk shells. Probably is the way this swoops down there. See all that honey calcite. And there's some little ones there. Okay, so look at this one. So you can see it all along the edge there and this whole druzy bit right there of honey calcite. So cool. Haha, look at this one. This is definitely a whelk shell. Look at that. So you see the whelk shell, you can see the spiny part, you know, like if you look down on the spiral from the top, and you see how the edge is turned into honey calcite, and then here's the inside, and look at those druzy, it's all druzy crystals of honey calcite. So cool. I'm not going to keep all this. I probably will be selling some of this eventually. I need to do a rockhound stuff. I've got a lot of rocks. This is probably one of my favorites. Look at that. So now this, I think this is also, oh, it's hard to tell sometimes. I'm trying to see if this is a whelk shell or it's shells within shells, because look at all those little bits there. And then you have, oh, that those crystals in there. That is so awesome. This was the best thing. I was going to get a big sprayer, but then I got this one, so you pump it, you know, to pressurize it. And this was so much better because I could wash them off. I could adjust the nozzle, and that worked so much better. Better than a spray bottle, because you had more constant spray, though there were some hoses when we were doing the kit dig, so it made it easier. Things I use when I rockhound. This is great when I'm at Diamond Hill digging through the rocks. You can always need a screwdriver. This is a Pittsburgh for popping things. At this dig, though, because it was literally, I mean, the pile looked like that, big chunks. So, I mean, this hand rake helped me. I definitely wore gloves. These actually cuts I got at Diamond Hill in the softer dirt because I wasn't paying attention. Definitely some sort of glove. Otherwise, my fingers trying to dig through these would have been torn to pieces. If you're not doing big chunky stuff like that, a classifier. I love these small handheld ones. I got two actually. And I have bigger ones that are different. This is my favorite for just looking for those smaller crystals. Another whelk shell. I love these whelk shells where you can see. Let me get the little stuff. Look, this one you can see how it's like completely turned into calcite. You can see this is the top of the spiral. Look at that. It goes around. You can see in there. Look at the spiral. It's all calcite. Look at that. It's like a druzy pocket. And then you can see the outside of the shell. Like little pockets. All druzy. Just such awesome stuff. But look at those crystals. That might be a whelk shell. It's really hard to tell sometimes. It's definitely crunched. You see a little hole, so it's at least some smaller, maybe whelk shells or twisty shells. But look at all that calcite. It's just amazing. The earth is an amazing place. Notice some of it is darker than others. So, like this here, look at that. That is all calcite crystals all along there and in that little pocket. This is definitely like a clamshell. You can see the top of the top part of the clam. And look at how you can see it poking through the calcite as like the whole shell was being replaced by honey calcite. Sweet. The funny thing was we were using water that was groundwater. It wasn't potable water, but it had a high sulfur content. So every time you sprayed, you could smell all of the sulfur. Look at this. Another one of the whelk shells. Look at there. You can see the turning around. Look at the crystals in there and all along there. Super cool. I love these whelk shells. It's just amazing to me. So here you can see another whelk shell. You can see the curve of it. Look at all those crystals right there. Look at in there. Oh, look at that. Look how solid that is of calcite. We call it like the dog tooth, where it looks, you can see the crystals up and down. So look at that. Look at all that crystals right there. Love it. Oh, here's a really cool one. Nice little clam shell of honey calcite crystals. Look at that. Look at that. That tiny little solid calcite crystal. And then look over here. There's another little one. But look, that whole little shell has just turned into calcite. It's so awesome. Okay. Then there were the bones that were also mixed in among the, look at that, some sort of bone. They said manatee bone, I'm not sure, but we got the bone and we got the calcite right next to each other. Calcite fossil bone. That's a little one. I have here's one someone gave me. They were like, oh, you're a teacher, I have a bunch of these. This was the first one I got. She gave it to me. You can see it's another one of those bones. They're very smooth. Super cool fossil. Be a clam on some sort of, maybe a spiral shell, because you can see the, what are those called? The smooth with the spiral in the middle. You see there's the spiral. You can see it right there. But then you flip it over and you got a clam that's being replaced by calcite. Look at all that calcite. Super cool. This was such a fun hunt. So worth going to Florida. Enjoyed being in Florida. Got to go to the beach. Got to metal detect on the beach. And you do not want to put calcite in. You would never clean this with any kind of acid. It would totally dissolve the calcite. And then look at this one with this lovely gemmy piece right there of calcite. Look at this gemmy stuff right here. Look at all that crystals. Little tiny crystals right there. That might be one I want one to put in my car so I can show people. That might be. You see this one? This one is completely replaced shells with calcite. That is all honey calcite. And I'm not sure if that's a clam. I think it's a clam shell on top of. There's a little honey calcite there. But look at that. Is that not the coolest thing? You can see the crystals starting to grow up. That's super cool. So this one I love is because you can see the early turnings into honey calcite of the shell. And this one has, I love when you have these little shells that are just replaced by honey calcite. Like here's the whole little shell just replaced by honey calcite. And then you have this shell up here that's got all the honey calcite it's turning into. So it's at various stages of honey calcite. And then this one, it again has, so here's the shell. You can see where the honey calcite is peeking through, where it's starting to change. My camera holder is full of, and then all along here, all the honey calcite. That's just so cool. The whole shell is replaced by very gemmy honey calcite. I don't know if it's stuff like that they carve into. That might not be big enough. Like I said, I haven't seen these since I put them in the bucket. I never even sorted them. It was just that hot and I was that tired. And still kind of little heat. So look at all that little honey calcite there. And look, there's a whole bunch of calcite there. And look down in there. There's calcite. And then this one, yeah, look at that. Look at how that is all turning into honey calcite. So look at that. Look at that nice plate of honey calcite crystals. Look at that. Total little swirly shell. Whoops. Total little swirly shell turned into honey calcite. This shell right here is all turning into honey calcite too. I just especially love that. Look at that whole thing. One little ball of honey calcite. Here we have another look. Another spiral whelk shell. Look at it. And all of that has become honey calcite. You can see the spiral of it, which is super cool. Right there, all that honey calcite all right along there. You can see the clam shell, and then you see the honey calcite in the clam shell. And again, look at that total little shell in there. I might try to carefully break most of that off and have the whole little clam in there. That's just all a bunch of honey calcite, and there's like the dog tooth. And you see, look at all those shells, all the crystals right there from the honey calcite, like all along there. All along there. And that's definitely like a clam shell. Little tiny clam shell full of calcite crystals. Oh, I was going to say, why did I get this one? This is a whelk shell. Where do you see this? Look, this is the whelk shell. But look right there, it's all calcite. There's even little calcite crystals right along there. So look at this. Wow. Look at all that calcite. Look, it's like solid calcite. Look at that. And when you come around to the front, you're like, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at this. I can't think what that's called. Perfect fossil shell. I don't think there's any calcite on this one. But I got that one perfectly for the cool fossil shell. Right in there. See all the crystals growing right there, and there's in the cavity, it's into this whole piece. Oh, here we go. The beginnings of the replacement with the calcite, and there's little crystals. That'd make a nice display piece. That is the shell. Look at all the, it's solid. Look at that with the little, look at how that beautiful that is. That, I would like put it in a box like that. I have display boxes. That is definitely one I will display. I'll pick a, oh, look at that. Now you can see that is definitely the spiral of a whelk shell. Look at that. Is that not the coolest thing? Look at all that calcite replacement. All those dog teeth calcite. That is super cool. Okay, look at that one. Just a nice little chunky bit of honey calcite. Look at that. Like it's just a whole piece of calcite. Oh, look at that. Another swirly inside piece of a whelk shell that's been replaced with honey calcite. So there you have half of my cleaned up honey calcite. Another bucket that's been cleaned up. I'm gonna go show these to Mom and Dad. Just crazy showing you all my favorites. Just amazing how they glow. How you can see the whelk shells. And look at that. And some are darker. Some of the calcite's darker, which it fluoresces brighter, which is weird. And these are all super cool fluorescent. This is the best way to. Look at that. I love how you can see the whelk shells in them. This one is so cool. So a little bit about how these are formed. So these were formed in 1 to 2 million years ago during the Pleistocene era. This fossiliferous limestone, the right conditions happened. Like here is a whelk. You can see it goes around, it comes around, and the calcite fills in where the whelk shell is. The shell itself erodes away. You know, here's one where it's filled in. You can see some of the shell is still there. It's still eroding away. Crystals pop up as well as just the solid calcite. This one's my coolest, I think, with that. So literally, this is all calcite that is filled in. Look how thick it is. The shell, you can see some of the clam shell. They're coquina clam shells. And then, of course, this one, I'm not sure if it's could be a clam shell. You could see how it filled in the cavity with all the little crystals. And then, where's that one? And so you can see how just it lines the shell, and the shell itself erodes away, leaving the calcite crystals and things behind, which is so cool. And there's a few other, of course, fossils in there, like this little fossil of a, I cannot remember the name of that shell, but isn't that so cool? It is completely filled in hard fossil. You know, here's another whelk shell. I love these, are so cool. There's the tip of it. You can see how it's been filled in with calcite. Anyway, so that's what it is. I can never say that word. Fossiliferous limestone is what this aggregate, this stuff is that the shells are in, and then the right conditions happen for it to form these awesome calcite. So here I am. I wore my Aurora fossil mine. If you've never been to the Aurora fossil mine, it's in Aurora, North Carolina, near the coast. And again, it's a mine where they bring up stuff from millions of years ago. I actually have my hat on. It's a great place to, it doesn't have honey calcite, but they can go to the fossil museum and they constantly bring truckloads up, and you can dig all kinds of shark fossils, coral fossils, stingray fossils. There's a whole bunch. If I get a chance, I'll insert a picture of a board I made of fossils from when I was there, and I had sorted them and labeled them. But anyway, I love rockhounding. It's treasure hunting, like for fun things in the earth. And I'll have some more videos. Went to Diamond Hill Mine and got a few things there on my way back from Florida. Anyway, it was a great trip. Got to go to the beach. Got to dig honey calcite. Got to enjoy learning a little bit about honey calcite fossils. And happy metal detecting treasure hunt.
Lucky duck digger, searching the earth for treasure. Finding smoky quartz, clusters of crystal points. Dig, lucky duck, dig, filling your holes and take your trash. Lucky duck digger, finding cool old fossils. Shark's teeth, manatee bones, and honey calcite shells. Lucky duck digger, digging with her screwdriver, saving gems from the dirt. Lucky duck digger, finding cool old fossils. Shark's teeth, manatee bones, and honey calcite shells. Lucky duck digger, digging with her screwdriver, saving gems from the dirt.